Hey people, y'all remember this kid in class that wouldn't take the programming? You know, that kid had a stronger spirit. And all that programming, that was to force a new reality. So I found these ancient writings about who American is in the Torah, and it defines this American a little better. You know, I challenge anybody. They try to tell us America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, and I challenge anybody to find any proof of that didn't come out of a 20th century propaganda book. And I'm not going to look for it again, but I showed it in prior movies that there was ancient maps that already was named America. There was a couple places over here on the West Coast that are already named America before that. And before you start trying to send me proof, look closely. Because, the three actual documents they say they have, the first and the last name are spelled different every time, and they're in three different handwritings. But, this is what America means right here. Why Amer is who Amer akin. And so this surely, every word in the Hebrew language means surely. All you have to do is double up any word, and they say it means surely. You see it in words like moody moot, 4191. The first one turns into a surely. Or the thub thub turns good into any better. Or the rub rub turns it into did ever he strive, where this is the base word for rabbi or the many. Or nullum nullum turns into ever he did fight, where the base word, is coming from this limb or alchemy, the fight. But what it means is, who, word, akin. And this is a southern word here, akin, means your kinfolk, is relative. Who, word, is relative. Who, word, akin, American. That's where the word come from. And this is your word Santa Claus up here. It's from sentu. And this is the word for sleep only when it goes with a dream. Not necessarily sleep, but it's that where you're at when them dreams are sent to. So I'm not going to stick on any subject in this movie. I'm going to shoot through and show you a bunch of phrases and words that that are American. And somebody told me in one of my movies that they could understand the Hebrew better, and it's a movie that I showed this in, so I'm not too sure if they were talking about this or the block style Hebrew, but I think it's easier to see in this. But this is the first time it come up in Genesis 28:16, and it's who American is you, and so this VIWI means why. It means who. And who affix, IFX, who affix, who puts it on, who affix, and this word they say is Jacob, and it's the JOQB, and it means the yoke in. Who affixed the yoke in? The yoke is what you put on every day when you go to work trying to pay the bills that you're behind on, your yoke. Anything you're addicted to is your yoke. Your wife is your yoke. Once you sign them papers, that's your yoke. That's the joke in marriage, the yoke in. And who affixed the yoke in, the joke in, from sent to who American, who the word akin, a relative word, one that I recognize, is, is you, and this is you as in the Lord, you the bum cummies, the bum cummies, QUMEZE, the bum commies. You have from come ease, don't have to work for it, to come ease. And this is and Anki, and this is when they says, when God says I am, they just give this I. But it's also Anki, and that was the Sumerian god of earth. Anki, the An is the heavens, and the Ki is the earth, and it's also where your word Anaki comes from, and you'll see that in the block style. They'll give it a vowel point that adds a O after the N, Anaki. But it's you commies to inoculate, to inoculate, a dote, I-D-O-T-E, D-O-T-I, a dote, an antidote, an inoculate. And who affix the yokin from sent to? Who American is you? Have 'em come ease. It comes easy to you. Royalty and come ease to Anki, to the king of earth. And so I'm pretty sure that they mistranslate all the Sumerian tablets. But this is also, the bum come ease to inoculate dote. So a lot of people say Anki or Inki was Thoth. In the end of the Sumerian tablets, some people interpret as they say that Anki had escaped to another land, and they say that was South America. And in ancient Egyptian writings, they'll say that Thoth had come from Atlantis and landed in Egypt. And there was a great destruction in Atlantis. And so him and some of the people that survived went to Egypt. So the next time this comes up is in Exodus 2, right after Moses kills the Egyptian. The two men fighting that were Nazis. And you see that this word for is known is changed too. And this is the word nudo. And it means nude. It means not hidden. In Italian and Spanish, in the Latin, nudo, not hidden. The dabber. And the dabber is an old word. And it's a little tool used for planting seeds. It's a dick. The dabber, the nudo, the dabber. Who American, the nudo, the dabber. And so when he killed the Egyptian, hit him in the sand, I was looking at this word over there in the Greek, and the word is, he hit him in the ammo, A-M-M-O, the ammo. And so that tells me, if the sand is the ammo, you're fighting against the wind. And over here, it's, and hit him in with them new batch, the batch of wheel, the new batch of wheel. So, that tells me that if the sand is the new batch, that means that wasn't stones. That's all built out of concrete in the new batch. When he seen the Egyptian beating one of his brothers, it's who upon Kohuki all the where. Ko, K-O, and H-U-K-Y above is an I, and then an O-E is an O-L-E. And the Kohuki, ko, working together, the Kohoots, the Kohuki. And before all the vowel points, that's where you were. It was just a K-E-U-K-E, kooky. He looked kooky, who upon kooky. And it's talking about Janus, he's looking both ways. He looks kind of kooky there, who upon the kooky. They're working together, the Kohuki, and all the where. And this turns into a W. It's a K-A-I. It's a vav. And all the where vanish. That no one. All the where vanish. And this is W-Y, a key. Why, who here? Why a key? Who's here? It jerks them, backwards. The J-R-X. The jerks them. And then the dot and the M tell me put an A-E here. Is the jerksome is maxary. The jerksome is maxary. A maxary is a suffix put on a place of employment, Over there at the jerksome is maxary. Egyptians. With them knew the batch of will. And why it's a boy you from, this is a B, dot says O, and the I has a dot, it means two Y's. And it's not the babe, but it's the boy, Y-O-U. The Y, the dot says O-U. The boy you from. Why it's so the boy you from is a sign. There's two S's here, E-S and then I-S-E-N-I-I is a sign. The boy you is, why it says the boy you is a sign. And so the day, just means, the younger years when you was a boy. and Wenee, when he signed the mission on from the Overim, signs the mission on from Overim. The Hebrews were the overseers, not the slaves. So before the vowel points, this is just the NXI. It's where they was getting Nazis from. The two men were fighting. But with the vowel points, it's the NXAVI, the not savvy. The not savvy, and MUI, MUI, of much yammer, of much said, lures, LRS, to lures them in. The one who did the wrong thing, the one that lured them in. And the lures, y'all, YOL, the dots above, YOL. And lures, y'all, MAE is MES, the mistake. And lures, y'all, the mistake, the rock. The rock, boy, that's the jailhouse there. Penitentiary up at the rock, busting rocks. Why who it's a boy, is a sign. When he signed the mission on from Overim, not Savium. The ones that ain't real bright, they're not Savium, the Nazis. Who yammer lures y'all? Who the words lures y'all? Mistake the rock. So a lot of people are mistaking that concrete for rock. And the not savvies, that's the ones, they take the ones that ain't real bright, and that's the ones that's in your Marine Corps. When I joined the Navy, I took a test. He told me I had to score 35 to join the Navy and a 17 to join the Marines. And I think I scored up in the 70s, and they wanted to send me to officer candidate school, but boy, I've always had a problem with authority. I never wanted to be one. But yeah, that's the not savvies, the fighting men. Who the word lures y'all. The mistake of rock. The mistake of the rock. And who more me smack lays. Who a more me smack laser. A spot all in new allergen ate, to kill me. You ate an allergen, ELERGNUNI, allergen. An allergen, and this is 8, and it's ATE, but the underneath is the A. The dot says ATAE, and so it's ATES, and so 8 summer. This is the same base word for words. They'll say that's what that means. Here it's just, intended, but it's to say, speak. And the allergen 8 summer kosher. And urge 2, ERG and the TA 2. The kosher is cool, the urge 2. The jerksome is maxery. The way you're a Mos. So it's not Moses, but this is that ancient king of Egypt, a Mos. The way you're a Mos. Who American now do the dauber? And so the dauber, most of the time they say is the word yabba dabba, where that comes from. But, the first American, the story of Cain and Abel, and Cain was drove off to the west. And a lot of people are thinking, Cain become China. And it looks a lot like that. Because, this word for Cain spelled with a Q-I-N. It's also the chin, and you see that in the spelling of China. And you see that here when Cain murders Abel, He's who American. And you see, the reason she named him that, is the finity. What word finity? And so American is not a people, it's a language, when of the word, the language, akin is relative. And nobody was to take vengeance on Cain, and so God put a mark on him, and that mark was a ought, A-O-U-T, the ought. And I believe the ought was the symbol of mu. The ought is just a decimal point. And this is possibly where that come from. They Might have put a circle around the ought so you don't miss the ought there, the symbol of Cain. And it seems like this is the same one that told them they could eat of that fruit in the garden. You know, who told you that naked you were from the tree that sweet Jack love light? It's witical in light. You know, it's wit, the knowledge that you got, IKL in the IKL of in light, been enlightened. You know, it's wit to call, KL, to eat in light, to consume in light. But the majority of time, this word, why a mare, comes up is followed by a lou, why a merlot. And Merlot, you know, gets its name from a place in France. And usually they say that, you know, it's named for the grapes that they grow. Most of the places were named for the grape that they grow. It's coming from ancient Akkadian, the Amar, a calf or a descendant. And so, you know, in the ancient Akkadian story and Sumerian tablets, they tell a story about the gods coming here, and it was all rough times until they brought the grapes and made the wine. You see it's synonym of the Merlot. And it's under the god of Mercury, the god of wine. It might have been called the plant du medic, or your word medicine coming from. And coming from Amaro, a plantation of Amaras, kind of Portuguese wine grape. The suffix al denoting plantation. And this is a word that was in every language, Amar. And they say it meant the bitter of the grape, which I've never had a bitter grape. You know, but the wine was for the kings, you know, and so the word was for the kings. And this coming from the same base of where love comes from, Amora. And it makes no sense, you know, to love the bitterness. But in order to make a bitter wine, is to adjust the mix, you know, with just enough sugar that the yeast can turn all the sugar into alcohol, so there's no sweetness left. And it's all alcohol. It's a bitter wine. It's a strong wine. You know, in Indonesian, America is short for red wine. You can see here in Song 7, when it's talking about the vineyards, you know, it's L2, the cremum, you know, the creme, the cream, the kings, where, you know, will give my love to you is at backwards, at the hand, yod, at the hand, did a lick. You know, so it's talking about the dog that loves you here, licking on your hand. The yod did a lick. And then again, there is some freaky old girls out there who lick your hand. And I ran into this while I was looking at this word, amar, you know, shall be your wages, is I am rank, RNQ, rankdom. You know, you get paid according to your rank. And I am rankdom, yea is crack. You know, crack is your wages. You see it again here, you know, and yam rank. And I am the rank. He said, name your wages. And the rank, who I am rank best, B-E-S, the best crack. And so here's another one they're hiding. This is another word for why a miracle, E-Q-L. Why a miracle? You know, and said the voice of Jacob, but the hands are of Esau. Ooh, it's a miracle. When Esau gave up his birthright, you know, it's who Yakin Notten, who Yakin Notten, who Akin Notten. Well, this is who Yakin Notten. And Yokin Notten loss will come. When his hand, when his yod, Odysseum, you know, the Odyssey, the Odysseum. Who jackal, you know, there's two I's here, Y is who, and jackal. You know, not just to eat, but to take it like a jackal to steal your food. And who jackal, why is it who will come? Hua come is not a rose, but when you give up, to succumb. Hua come. Hua lick. Why a lick? And this is where your word wilk come from. To wilt is to go back, and it's to walk is to come, and to wilk is to return. Hua come wilk. Hua buzz has what? Hua buzz has what? He got his brother Esau high. A buzz has what? And then backwards, the rock of, and then have a cree. And so the rock of have a cree, that the rock, it means it's the boundary marker. And the first son got the best piece of land. And you see it in all those images of Jacob in the rock. Jacob laid his head on the rock. He laid his head on the rock. The birthright. The rock and have a cree. So Amazon telling me that they just dropped off my new RAM. So I'm up, get in here and see if I can start stretching these out a little better.
I am the Antichrist, and I approve of this message.